We're live.
Okay. Hey, everybody. What's going on, gang, 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 gang? Sorry about the bit of congestion. Oh, thank you for all the love. And even thank you for the responses. Not tripping either way. Thank you for tuning in. All 4 of you.
69 people.
No, 4 people thumbs down.
Oh, thumbs down. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 4 people give me thumbs down already. I didn't even speak. But you know what? Join Patreon right now.
That's because it was scheduled already. They knew it was coming.
You should join Patreon right now for just the last 2 videos alone. I gave you more information on the last 2 videos alone on Patreon than anybody's ever given you on what to do, how to prepare for the next 6 months than anybody's ever told you. Join Patreon right now. And if anybody that's on Patreon, that's on this live feed right now that can dispute that, tell them to do so right now and call in right now and tell me I didn't. Where they can go back over it and over it and over it. And guess what tomorrow we're doing on Patreon? China Trade, right? That's what you told me? China Trade?
Yep, China Trade.
China Trade tomorrow on Patreon. We're going to film more days on Patreon with less consultative stuff and more content stuff that they can go over and over, right? And then on Friday, for Patreon only, we're going to do something special. A dong video. Just for a dong. I don't know how long it's going to go. I'm not going to say an hour. I'm not going to say 30 minutes. I'm going to do dong for what I know for how long I can go. So if you want about dong news, join Patreon. I'm starting it officially on Patreon starting this Friday. We have 1 minute, so I guess I can start playing the theme music, right? Is that cool with you?
Yeah, go for it.
That's 1 minute. And then that's when you'll break it up. Okay.
Got it?
For this right here.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it. I had to pull my hair back to hear all the beautiful goodness. Not only from the most genteel, sincere, sexy, my wife, who I underappreciate, but I should congratulate because I came up in the long run. I know she's a little tense, I can feel on her shoulders. But you know what? I'm sorry for whatever it is, and I will make it up to you later. But you know what? It's time for the news. And you know what that means? People are tuned in right now. I don't know how many. You could tell me that. How many people are here with us?
110 right now.
That's it?
I think so.
That's it?
Unless I didn't.
Are you asleep? Are they sleeping?
Are you dreaming?
Am I dreaming? I'm not even going to read the news for 110 people.
Oh, knock it off.
For 110 people, they are like
115.
15.
Appreciate those that appreciate you.
They better start screaming gang, 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 gang everywhere. They better just start screaming out my gang.
Look at my ugly nails.
Babe, your nails are gonna be. Oh, that was not.
Look at that. Look at all that.
That's not cute at all.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Go ahead, take that girl.
Hey, Sweet Pea. Hey, baby.
Tell her you live on.
Hey, honey.
There you go. I just told everybody it was your daughter, so
So
they know why you had to take a quick break.
that was a break, right? That was my kiddo. Where are you? Where are you at? What's going on? How are you, Miss BB? How was your day?
I'm good. I'm April BB. Let me start there. My day was kind of, but I'm making the best of it. My nail person jacked up my nails today, so.
And that, for us, is major conflict. I don't know how y'all feel about that when your wife's nails get jacked up, but when it comes home, you know what, babe?
I got like
babe, don't pick at them, please.
Glue and shellac everywhere.
Babe.
I had to like literally walk out the nail salon to make it here on time. I was sitting there for over an hour and a half. But anyway, I am April BB, and I'm going to push through. All right, there we go.
And I am Mr. Brando. And yes, I am wearing a Jimi Hendrix shirt. And I like Hendrix. I like Janis Joplin. I like all the old hits. I think tonight should be a retrospect of what you know. We know that... let's talk about what we know. Okay, what we know is... We know Iraq has to reinstate the Iraqi Dinar because of the protest. We know that the protesters denied their 45-day delay, right? Mm-hmm. That's a bomb. So if you're looking for a bomb...
And you said, you gave your introduction, right? You said you were...
Yeah, I said I am Mr. Brando. I didn't do it all loud tonight.
Okay, good.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to do it all crazy, okay?
Okay, it's okay.
So we know that the citizens rejected their 45-day reform package, that they want to have things done in 45 days. Right? We know in the region that Saudi Arabia, not because of what's going on in the country as far as pumping out oil's going on, but because of them taking Aramco IPO, that they're anticipating going broke before 2030.
Wait, explain the Aramco IPO.
Okay, so Aramco is the most profitable country in the world.
Saudi Arabia, right? Because me and Sarah have been like talking about that for years, and I'm like, when is that going to come to be? Like, that's
very, very soon. They're going to take that country. They value that company at basically $2 trillion. Man, listen to this though. But if they don't take that company public, Saudi Arabia could very possibly go broke.
So, okay. Can I ask you this, and maybe you don't know?
Sure.
Is it going to be on our stock exchange here in America? Okay, yeah. Because that's what, like, we've been waiting for, and I've been, like, really, like, yeah. But it's been, like 2 years in the making, right?
Okay, but hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the IPO, okay, real quick.
Okay.
So, in Turkey right now, next year, they're going to redo their currency. They've already said it publicly.
Okay.
They're going to redo their currency.
Okay.
Saudi Arabia is saying they need another avenue for income besides oil and gas. Mm-hmm. Now, Iran, they're burning central banks all over Iran right now. They're burning central banks in Iraq. What do you see the really real, even in Saudi Arabia, even in places like that, what are you really seeing right now?
Turmoil.
Well, you know what you're seeing? You're seeing a pushback against the status quo. Now, does that mean zombie apocalypse, Pempe's whole theory about what's going on? No, it doesn't mean that at all. Mm-hmm. But what it does mean is that people are going to be held accountable for what they're doing. And you know what? The corrupt will go to jail. Just like I told you. When I told you guys a long time ago that either U.S. or Interpol or somebody's going to go into Iraq, U.S. just gave Iraq notification just the other day. Look, we're going to start putting people of importance in politics under sanctions if these things aren't corrected. Yeah, I know y'all see the vacation beard. Y'all see that? Vacation beard. Sorry about that. Now, with that, you got to understand that when they corrected the election law, excuse my slur real quick, but the election law, what they did was they basically stopped and they started stopping the PMs from leaving and entering the country because of that law. Because now those PMs can be held accountable for things that they did in the past if they are reelected. They need to reduce the whole Parliament by at least a third, if not 2/3. And I'll tell you why, because of the budget in just a few minutes, okay? Okay. The budget has to be reduced because what you find out about countries that are oil heavy as far as revenue goes, public spending is their ultimate demise. That's why Saudi Arabia is going broke. Because of public spending. That's why Iraq is going broke, because of public spending. And with the introduction of what? Two things. The HCL and Article 140, they can't afford all three and keep public spending at where it is today. That's why they're amending all the retirees, all the public spending, the legislators, what they're doing for the presidencies and everything else. That's a gift. I just gave you that. So if you want to know what the real fiscal importance of the 2020 budget is, how much do they reduce spending publicly and parliamentary to cover the cost of the HCL and Article 140? That's a freebie. Because both those things will be in the 2020 budget. Not the rate. If anybody's looking for the rate in the next budget for next year, you're a lost soul. Because why would I let a run go on my own currency before I ever get it launched off? The one thing that Saudi Arabia did differently than Iraq is they didn't exclude themselves from people being able to go over there and open up public businesses, such as Chevron, so there is still an exposure, a leverage to business.
Yeah,
right?
Chevron and a couple
BP, a lot of people are over there, right? Mm-hmm. So they need that public sector activated, but with that, they know that 50% of that workforce will be Iraqi, right? Right. But that doesn't mean 50% of it will be upper management. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It means that 50% will be in the workforce. Iraq has to really start consuming themselves with whatever business they let in the country. They will help and shape what it is and what it will be for the lifetime that it is. Okay? Okay. The 2020 budget isn't a tell into what the rate is. It's a tell into how they deal with the HCL, Article 140, and public spending. How they deal with public spending will tell you how and what they're going to do next year as far as dealing with an influx if their currency was increased. That was free. And the stuff I do on here, I don't do on Patreon and then come back on Patreon and then post it on YouTube like these other fake YouTubers that call themselves Patreons that do drama videos. I don't do rap. I'm sorry about that. I'm not supposed to do that? Mm-mm. Okay, I'll go back to the news. Anyway, excuse me. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said the United States will impose sanctions on corrupt Iraqi officials and continue demonstrations against Iraqi authorities across the country. We will not stand idly by corrupt officials, make the Iraqi people suffer. Meaning the Iraq government will be accountable for what they do to the demonstrators right now. And more so to that fact, who will else hold them accountable for those things will be the United States, who is ultimately their brother or sister government, right? Right. They're supposed to be guiding them through this, right? Mm-hmm. Now, because they haven't done anything as far as hurt a person or not hurt a person, right? What they have done is said, if you get out there bad with those bad people, guess what I will do?
What?
I will light a fire under their behind, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So now, the Iraq defense minister is under some serious charges in Sweden. He needs to clear those things up. Now, before I bring hellfire and damnation behind his name, I'm going to say this. If he was a dual citizen and didn't understand his role in both countries, that's his own ignorance, and he should plead guilty to everything and just go ahead and go to jail and be done with it. See, that's my philosophy on people that are accused of things that sometimes they feel like they're falsely accused of because they feel ignorance is the best defense. Does that make sense? Now, if you're ignorant of something, doesn't mean that you're not guilty of it.
Right. Sometimes people know how to play the part.
Right. And then sometimes, you know what? Because you're ignorant doesn't mean you're guilty or innocent. So, if you're guilty of doing something, don't plead innocence or ignorance in lieu of being guilty, such as he should. Like Al-Fayed should. Al-Fayed is dirty. That's why he's under sanctions. See, a lot of the people that are in place in Parliament, it's not that we need them removed. We need so many of them removed that their play is not significant against the dinar. You're in the best spot ever. This is what people don't know. The citizens publicly rejected 45-day reform package. We know that Saudi Arabia is going to go broke before 2030 because of oil. Well, if they're not going to be the number one producer of oil in that region, who would be?
All right.
Miss Bibi gets a gold star.
Look at the brains on Bibi.
So get it? If oil-dependent Saudi Arabia is going broke, what do you think will have to happen to Iraq to secure its own future?
They need to go on with that HCL law. They need to
have a nominal currency that opens itself up not only on the Silk Road, but in a currency trade mechanism that makes sense for not just the region, but for the world. That's not top-heavy on spending for salaries. Right? Remember I told you about salaries. Mm-hmm. I want to see that budget where they're not spending a bunch of money on salaries. That salary needs to be reduced by 2/3 or half. For that currency to hold real value, because you know what that's going to do? It's going to be people, it's going to bring people to that investment and say, you know what? They're not a communist state. They're not dependent on the state. They're dependent on the private sector. There's going to be a few ministers in the shakeup. You could look at it as bad or good. I think that when you look at ministers and shakeups, you got to look at it like this. Would you bet on somebody that has a shadow of a doubt against them? If you're betting $1 million or $10 million or $100 million?
What's the odds? I think I would look more so at the odds.
But you're counting a country's wealth, right? So if these ministers aren't going to bring you the best and the brightest, why vote on them? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you.
My own opinion. I mean...
No, I hear you.
He'll bomb there, just saying.
I hear you.
The Central Bank of Iraq had a large security detail surrounding it. Unlike in Iran, and unlike in Lebanon, and unlike in other places that are rejecting the central bank system as what it is today. Now, does that mean that everybody's going to go to a gold-backed system and that, you know what, there's going to be a bartering system, there's going to be pioneer times? No, it does not. But you know what it does mean? People are sick of corrupt politicians and they want to change. Whatever the change is going to be, it's going to be. Now, in Iraq, the change has to be a HCL. It has to be a HCL. It has to be Article 140. And it has to be election law. Everything else is absolutely up for negotiation. And they're not waiting 45 days. They want it now. The next article clearly states Iraqi protesters refuse to give the government 45 days to give reforms. I can cut this one short, y'all. This is really just, we know they restricted the powers that be, the parliament, the president, the 3 presidents of their powers, how much they get paid today. So now it's nothing more than just a matter of time before they choke themselves out, before they figure out a new way to steal. If they're going to figure out a new way to steal. You see what I'm saying? At some point, the rat has to think about self-preservation and not getting fat. When people ask me about what I read in Iraq, and they say, how do you feel about it? You know what I tell them?
What?
I feel absolutely ecstatic.
You feel like dancing?
I feel like, you know what? I could do my Mr. Brando dance all day long. And not because pie in the sky ideas or anything else. You know what I feel good about?
What?
Policy and what the protesters are willing to give up to get what they want. And because of the news, it substantiates all that. And because now you seeing people say, hey, in Iran, protest for Iran. If they don't have internet, protest for Iran. That's even better. Now people are starting to notice Iran, Turkey, Iran, Libya, Israel. Israel supporting Iran for this. Do you not see what's happening in the region? Iraq could step up and be number 1. It's not if now, it's when. It's nothing. It's nothing to wait on. If you're waiting on Iraq, you're just waiting. Your thought process should be, where am I waiting for? My next investment. Because I'm done with Iraq. I could prove this every day. Now, my next article says Saudi Arabia is eventually going to run out of money. Because it's oil heavy. And guess what? Government spending heavy on salaries. What's Iraq? The same thing. If you don't have a currency that's worth a darn, you can't subsidiate, even with oil, what you're doing. It's a short-term run for dinarians. You're in and you're out. You should be looking at something else.
Something else? What's that something else? What you say now?
I mean, what do you want me to tell them? You should be looking at the Iraqi Stock Exchange. You should be looking at the Dong. You should be looking at Venezuela.
Aramco?
And Aramco, if it goes IPO.
They say that thing is going to be big like Amazon.
Yeah, Aramco is going to be bigger than Amazon.
Yeah.
It's the most valuable company in the world, and it's going public because it's going to save Saudi Arabia. So take it from me. You want a stock tip? And I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I portray one. You and I are just talking. If you take this as financial advice, you're taking it because you're talking to a friend and nothing more, nothing less. If you do this and you lose money, that's on you, not on me. And I will not defend that in any court of law. But I'm buying Aramco as soon as I can. Because if Saudi Arabia is going broke because of oil, and then the number 1 producer, Iraq's number 2 in OPEC, they've got to have a viable currency to fight that off.
Remember that article I sent you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on with it.
And you guys are sitting here worried. In the 2020 budget, ending reductions on salaries will be the key event because of the HCL and Article 140. Watch Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Iran. Look at what the word's doing, but more so the region. It's telling how they feel they want the reforms to happen now. Oh yeah, and they're burning all these central banks, except for Iraq because it surrounded it. Why are they protecting the Central Bank of Iraq and nothing else? That's the news right there.
Is that the news?
That's the news.
And nothing but the news?
Nothing but the news. If you've got something you want to call in or discuss, do it now. I'm amped up for it. If not, you can call us a 27-minute video.
It's all good.
It's up to y'all.
It is all good. My jacked up nails. Hold on, I'm trying to get your number so I can post it out there so they can bang your line. Oh, thank you, Susan. She's so on it. She beat me to it.
Thank you, Susan.
That would be cool. How do I say his name? Eduardo is in Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we may be going to Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool if we were able to meet him out there.
Yeah, I'd love to meet Eduardo in Puerto Rico.
Eduardo. We might be out there in Puerto Rico in March, Eduardo. I'm trying to see. Government is too heavy. They have to start spending money on the people instead of those people in the government.
No, they have to indict and arrest the people that are in the government to cut the salary so they can spend that money on the people, seize those salaries and those bank accounts of the corrupt, and add that back to the foreign reserves, and then they can go forward.
Hey, what Sammy say? I'm good. I just got ready to quit my job. Laugh out loud. Oh, don't quit your job yet, Sammy D. Sounds like the dong will go before the Iraqi dinar. That's what Jimmy said. Seize their assets. I'm a little behind.
They are. They're seizing their assets right now.
Mr. Brando, do you think that they'll reduce the cabinet?
Yeah, I do.
When enforcing them to go to the people.
Yeah, I do.
Give the people the power.
Yeah, I really do. I think the cabinet will be reduced by 1/3.
Laura said they need to get qualified people in office instead of nepotism.
Dong Special is going to be on Patreon on Friday. China Trade Deal will be on Patreon tomorrow.
Tomorrow, right?
Yeah, on Patreon. Join Patreon.
Gang, gang. Still scrolling through. When Saudi fails, do you think they will come back up?
When Saudi fails?
Saudi Arabia, when they fall, do you think they'll come back up?
Saudi won't fall because they're a U.S., partnership.
Mm-hmm.
So their oil won't let them fail. But what will happen is they'll go into a different role. You know what I mean? It's anybody else. Their asset will become something else, and they'll have to do something else to earn that asset.
Do you think they're going to get the reinstatement before the budget since the rate isn't in the budget? That's from Sammy D.
That's like saying chicken or the egg. I don't know. If I knew that, I could tell you what the rate would be. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you. I know in the budget, if they're dealing with government spending and they're dealing with the HCL and Article 140, you're looking at a reinstatement. I know if they don't, then you're looking at a setback for whatever reason. And they haven't allocated the money because of those reasons.
And Lloyd, there's no price on the IPO, right?
We don't know. No.
Yeah,
Armco's IPO, we don't know.
The initial public offering, we won't know how much it comes in till the morning of, I think.
Right.
So when you think this is going to happen?
When it happens.
I think they'll get their budget down before December 15th because I believe they do nothing from December 15th to January 15th.
They do more out of Parliament than they ever did in Parliament. Just saying.
I think you answered this for Sammy. Sammy, you might have posted this more than once. Do you think they will reinstate their currency before the budget since the rate is not in the budget?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, if I knew that, I could tell you, but I don't know.
Wait, what's this? Owl? How do I say this word? Is that Owie? Owie said one basket. ALLAWI. Is that how? How you pronounce that?
Alawi.
Alawi said, one basket. The closer we get to this, the more dangerous. Hasham, I don't know these names. Ben said that was coming past after Malik issued an arrest warrant.
Malik, he's not arrested, but he's under probably immense scrutiny for a lot of things he's done. They've already told you that at one time your Iraqi passport meant you were from a shameful country and that your money was worthless, and then they're going to restore it back to a value that was of something you can be proud of. There's not things out there that are promoted by Iraq that are negative, right? So stop thinking negative, and they're not giving them 45 days to get it done. So I don't know what that shortened up the time frame for, but I'm saying that these protesters have nothing to do but sit outside and protest. So now is the time for things to happen. Stop listening to these people say May, March, April. They don't know. If they knew, they'd pick lottery tickets. It's easier. They happen every day. But if they were pragmatic about it, you know what they do? They say, hey, look, watch the news, follow the information, and this is where we're going. And if you're a person that likes to follow the investment, this is for you. If you're a person that wants to guess the outcome, then that's called someone that wants to watch a program.
George asked, what time are you doing Patreon tomorrow?
I have to talk to you what time you can do it with. Set up a time for me. I'll be ready in the morning, so whatever.
What, 10 a.m.?
I could do let's do 11 if that's okay.
11 a.m. Okay.
11 a.m. China Trade.
I don't think I have any meetings, but I can make sure everything's set up. There was another question. Shanta wants to know, Mr. Brando, will Turkey be revaluing their currency?
It's very interesting because I saw that article and I thought the same thing. Would Turkey basically revalue their currency to put them into some type of play as far as oil and gas goes, or arms trades, or whatever? I don't know. You know, I'm not an expert on Turkey, right? I'm not even versed in Turkey. But something's going on with Turkey where they want to reinstate or revalue. They want to revalue their currency. I know that. So I don't know what the play is on that, but what I'm saying to you is that that's very interesting that the region, and I don't know what's going on in Turkey as far as revolution goes, but if something's happening in Turkey right now, it's very interesting they want to revalue their currency.
No rates, no dates. Sounds like... Why is it so crucial now for protesters? Why now do you think that they are protesting when they could have did this a long time ago? Just a question.
Because of the protesters.
But that's what she said. Said
but there were no protesting. There was nothing. There was no force behind what they wanted done.
Okay.
Meaning that, like, oh, I want a new job, but I never go apply. Or, you know what? I want a better husband or wife, but I never dump the one I got and go pursue a new one. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There has to be some type of point behind what you're doing to force the issue forward. The protesters are where we are because we are where we are. The protesting is everything.
Have you talked to your friend in Iraq lately?
No, I haven't talked to him.
Okay. I saw you thinking that's.
He's been busy.
Okay. It's a new year in Iraq. The new Islamic year started September, so the 2020 budget can come anytime.
It always comes in November, December. So,
Ant Dog wants to know: are you doing a rant? Are you going to do a rant
tomorrow? No, I'm doing that Patreon video. So
that'll be the China Trade.
China Trade on tomorrow on Patreon. I'm doing that tomorrow.
Yeah. Let's see. Susan posted the time tomorrow. Thank you for that. Ken asked, where can you join? Susan posts the link, Ken, in the chat. It's www.patreon.com/Mr. Brando. And Susan said to Sammy D, they've reached a breaking point. Too hot in the summer to protest. The article about them burning Maliki's house, they were making
a statement.
Yeah.
Not about murder, about revenge. I heard that statement. It's a good point.
James Reed wants to know if we are going to buy Dong Dinar tomorrow. What am I buying? Buying Dong or Dinar. If you're going to buy tomorrow, which one would you buy?
Me personally?
Yeah. Tomorrow. You had to pick. You going out to buy some foreign currency. Which one would you pick?
Dinar.
Of course, I knew you were going to say that.
I would. Dinar, I think Dinar's the place.
I saw on another site that there has to be 3 public readings of the Iraqi budget before it goes into place. Looks like there's going to be 1 reading so far.
I don't know that to be true. I know I'm not the reading part, but I'm just saying that I don't know that there 1 or 2 readings because it's not been publicized.
Remember when I first got started in this investment, they kept saying, "Oh, the budget isn't so unless you see it in the Gazette."
The Gazette was everything.
The Gazette was life.
And where's the Gazette now? Nothing.
Somewhere where Mountain go. Oh, did I say that? Mr. Brando, will you get a condo at the Palms Island in Dubai?
How much are they?
I don't know. Gurka asked that question. Can you listen to past videos on Patreon?
Yes.
Nelson. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
This is from Sammy D. Do you think they'll get to the bank? Wait, do you think they'll get to the bank, the protesters inside the green zone?
I've been pushing for a green zone for a long time, but I think now that they're on the cusp of it, that it's more crucial, but time will tell. The protests, like they said, it's not for a day, they'll do it for 40 years until they see the reforms.
Lloyd says, did you see the report on the China economy slowing down might be the push needed to start the trade deal with the United States?
But why would we go into a trade deal with them if their economy's slowing down unless they're willing to give up everything? Think about it. If your enemy's down, would you give them a helping hand?
Oh, the condo costs $1.2 million.
Then I'll buy 2. One for me, one for Daisy.
No, it's Armco. ARAMCO.
Armco. Saudi Arabia's their private. It's from their sovereign wealth fund. It's their public company from their oil and gas division.
Napoleon, do a Google search. Like one of the heads of that company, one of the sheiks, came out here 2 years ago to New York. Like
in Texas,
he's been going back and forth. They've been trying to do this.
That's
IPO.
his vision for 2030. Like that's his big deal. Yeah. That's his.
They've been trying to do this IPO for.
And what he says about that IPO is that will save the Saudi Arabia economy.
Yeah.
On Chile, no, not on Chile right now.
Chile sauce.
Anything else, guys?
That's really it, man. I'm getting sleepy, man. I was trying to find that Armco article that I sent you recently that I got all stoked about. You're like, yeah, but I just want them to come on.
No, Armco as in Saudi Arabia as their petrochemical country. Their company, country. Company.
Seemed like I sent it to you recently, but yeah, go out there and do a Google.
Is Zim or Venezuela currency worth investing? I would say Venezuela, not Zim.
Zim. They're still talking about the Zim?
Yeah.
I think it's A.
Friday. Do I think I'll have good news Friday? I don't know.
Yeah, it's ARAMCO. And it says Saudi's Aramco in a race for their IPO with a $1.7 trillion value. And that article came out like November 3rd. Yeah, trillion. Man, that was on, and that's from Wall Street Journal.
That IPO is going to be crazy.
It's going to be it's going to be a donkey.
I want to own some of those.
What are you telling? I hope the price point is right. It just, I feel like it might just do a Google or something and just
like $87 or something like that.
No, Google was like at $500 or $700 out the gate. That's why I'm like, oh my gosh, oh God, I don't think I can do that. I mean, I got a lot of nickels to collect. I have to recycle some cans and something else.
Well,
here's the link, guys, to Wall Street Journal. I just put it out there. Grab that. Do your research. Check them out. Thanks, Brooklyn, for the breakdown, the spelling. Pepe's in the chat, George. He's out there talking about gold zombies. He's in there.
Miss B is looking at GE. She likes somebody else too.
You know who I like. I mean, I keep it 100 with y'all. I was in the chat.
Chevron or?
Well, Chevron I've been collecting since I moved to Texas. I got a drip of Chevron because, anything over $100 that it requires you to kind of stock up over time. But every quarter they pay me $1 some change per share, so it's kind of worth it. AT&T, I'm very bullish on AT&T. Iron Mountain. Anybody that's gonna give me money back, I'm all in. So those are my three. The Chevron, I have a drip, which is the dividend reinvestment plan. So I pay into that every month. The other ones I just outright buy stock. I was waiting for AT&T to drop down a little bit before I jump in and buy some more. And then Iron Mountain is going to do a dividend. So they're going to exercise their dividends December 13th, and they're going to pay them January, the first part of January. Don't quote me, but I put it in my little messenger group on Facebook. But those all three of those are really good. One is more costly. Chevron, like I said, $116, $117 a share. AT&T is at about $38 to $39 a share. Iron Mountain's at about $33 a share.
That's nice. Good investments.
So there goes three for you.
Okay. Well, I think with a little investment news, I think with a little bit of investment, encouragement, I won't say call it advice, I'll call it encouragement. And I think with the news that we've come out with today, I think that's a wrap. What do you think? Yeah,
and I'm going to try to do a video for you guys. I've been trying to come up with some little analysis and some numbers of things that I think in 2020 that would be good to invest in. So
look out for stuff like the IPO launch to be on Miss BB's channel, on Miss April BB. Look out for stuff to be about where to find stuff like that on my channel, Mr. Brando. Join Patreon for future fiscal and financial and stuff like that, and then look forward to Miss BB
posting anything about money. No.
How to make some, how to make a little extra.
Make some sweet moolah with Uncle Rico.
And guess what? That's it. Those are the bombs. That's it. Have a great evening.
Bye, y'all. Don't look at my hands.
Deuces.
Don't look at my hands.
Out the roof.
See y'all next time. And you'll see Mr. Brando tomorrow.
11 a.m.
On
Patreon.
Bye, y'all.